Welcome back to The Watch, and interesting subject. I've noticed something, because as any good ally, I have learnt from feminism about how to spot the sexisms.
Ally, huh?
Yep.
Why, is that a new title?
That's what you're an ally, are you? An ally, like ally for any of the...
We're not, so...
Well, you know, sometimes we try. Okay, so...
Sure.
There is a standard that the feminisms have taught to be the sexism detector, and it is a thing called the Bechdel test. Have you heard of the Bechdel test?
Yes, I have.
Yeah, I have.
I've also heard apparently the person who made it as a joke, but then everyone took it on seriously.
Right, that's true, is it? Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it is a joke, you're right, but if we were to take it seriously... because this is the actual reality. I actually do not care if a film has mostly men or mostly women at all, alright? I care about if it makes sense for the story. So, for instance, Master and Commander. Not a single woman in that entire film. But it kind of makes sense, because in the period, women weren't on those ships, okay?
And if they were, we'll just say that.
And, like, there are films that are totally focused around women. I think Paradise Road is one, where it's about women in internment, or, you know, are they internment camps? When Japanese...
Yeah.
Concentration camps, that's the word.
Sounds like a good film to watch, but I'm a sexist, so no.
He's joking. Yeah, the thing is, you have to, like, people just try and take it out of context anyway, and even quotes like that, they like, take it.
Go ahead, go for it.
So, like I said, it doesn't actually matter, but it matters to these type of people. So much so. And so it's like, all right then, that means let's see if your logic is consistent, because if I was to be a good ally and to learn from the standards that they do promote, even though the Bechdel test is a joke, okay, there's a lot of people that take it very seriously. And so what is the Bechdel test if you haven't heard of it? So, it is a standard to gauge if there is proper female representation in a film. And the way that you gauge it is if there is any moment in a film in which two female characters are talking to each other. Now, there's actually a bit more detail. That's like just the surface level thing. It actually goes a bit further, like, are these two named characters? And in their conversation, are they talking about something that's not related to other male characters or relationships with male characters and the thing? And so... that's the guide. It needs to be a conversation between two women, named characters, also all main characters, okay, talking about things or relationships that are not about men. Okay, let's take that standard and now flip it, because it's the guide to find sexism. And we watched a recent film lately that, as I was our first impression of Wakanda Forever is like, they really sidelined a lot of the male characters in this. Mm-hmm. Like, it's like they went out of their way to push them off to the side.
Yeah, seems right.
First off, I mean, they didn't recast T'Challa. They were very happy to let that torch pass on. But then there was one of the only other prominent male characters was M'Baka, and he was like the only entertaining thing in the film, really, and they pushed him to the side.
Best quote of the film, bold demon.
And there is no other, like, the only other named male character I can think of, there's Namor, okay, the antagonist, the child without love, and so he's an incel, basically. Like, he's never been loved, and that's why he's so evil and bad and all that. It's cringe. But also, the Martin Freeman character, I don't even know his name. Is that inconsequential? Like,
Ross?
Ross? No, that's General Ross. That's General Ross is a different character.
I thought there were two Rosses. I've lost track. At this point, I don't
He's that pointless of a character that this is like...
Colonizer.
Colonizer, that's right.
That's his name.
That's basically, yeah, you're right. I think so, the Colonizer, and I would almost say he's not a named character as a result.
They take his name away from him.
Yeah, it's not important.
He's not a main character by any means. and I wouldn't even call M'Baka a main character. And so, okay, well, feminism, you have taught us to try and determine if something is sexist or not. Well, let's apply the Bechdel test in reverse to Wakanda Forever. Is there a single moment in the film where two named male characters or main characters are talking to each other in the film? At all?
Well, no.
Main characters,
I don't
no, because there aren't any main male characters.
No, because Colonizer is talking with, what's her face? Madam Hydra, is that her name? I don't know.
Yep.
Yeah. I suppose there's M'Baku talking to weird disc mouth man. But
he's not a named character.
He's not a named character.
And are they main characters?
So.
We have our Colonizer talking with FBI agent on the bridge, not named.
No, yeah, that's true.
Okay, and in terms of any important interaction that is actually integrated more seriously with the plot, like trying to find Shuri and the person that they get to find Shuri and stuff, it's like...
I think you're right. I don't think there is. It failed.
What? What?
Yeah.
Wakanda Forever is sexist according to feminism?
Well, that would be if you consider being sexist to males as a thing. They don't see that way.
Well,
it's not.
You have just touched on the true, the truth of the matter, right?
Oh, yeah.
There is that this is another one of those moments which reveals the modern feminist movement is not about equality at all. Oh yeah, I know, shock horror, right? If you haven't,
no idea.
If you haven't learned about this yet, it's just another example where they're actually not about equality. Okay, they're about flipping the tables, and they want all the power. They basically want to supplant what they claim to be the patriarchy with a matriarchy that will oppress men to equal measure as they feel women have been oppressed. And so their view of equality is not actual equal treatment. It's about they feel women have been oppressed for so many years, and the only way to balance the scales is to get the power and oppress men for an equal amount of time. Now, I don't know about you guys, but that's evil to me when I hear that kind of philosophy. It's like, that's not having actual moral standards. If what was done to women truly was bad, by that standard, what you're doing to men would also be bad.
Yep.
And the Bechdel test, this is why I found it so interesting, because this is all about, representation and the feminist movement, and so they want, and all the women characters that they're, pushing forward and everything like that. I was like, oh, okay, so it's a face-off moment. It's a direct point of evidence that you actually don't care about equality or equal representation, because you would be applying your standards evenly, and according to your own standards and that you use to point out the sexisms, is revealing that, oh, well, there we go. Wakanda Forever is a sexist film according to that standard because of how it denigrates and pushes men to the side. And like I said, I wouldn't care. I'm just pointing out the hypocrisy.
Well, that's just feminism.
This is the interesting thing. When we watched Wakanda Forever, we just said, wow, they really pushed the male character to the sidelines, but we didn't say bad film because of no men. We said bad film because of awful writing, stupid, retarded plot, and everything like that, okay? Because a film is not good or bad based on having all black people, or white people, or men, or women. It's good or bad based on quality of writing and characters and story, okay? Production, acting, all those things. That's what makes it good. And as a result, in our reviews, we don't actually mention it. But it was only after the fact when I started to think about it in depth, and again, being taught about how to point out recognize the sexism by feminism, I was like, well, there you go. So this isn't the first time we've seen an interesting way that women are depicted versus men are depicted and everything. I just found this one in particular was very interesting because it actually, again, the more I think about it, let us know in the comments if you guys can think of any moment in the film that actually qualifies for the Bechdel test thing in Wakanda Forever. I can't think of any. I'm going through scene by scene.
In my head, every male character is talking to a female character, or there's one male and at least 3 females in the same room, so there's no other male to talk to. So
it's got to be a mandate at this point. Yeah. It has to be. It happens too much.
It seems like it, or it's an unnamed character. or not a main character, or and nothing prominent or significant. The more I think about it, the more it seems that, it totally fails at this standard, which is a dumb standard anyway, but we'll throw it in their face because that's their standard. If they say this doesn't matter, because why then? Because it's just men? Oh, face off. So you don't care about equality, you care about oppressing the oppressor as you identify them.
Yes, because vengeance always pans out well.
Yeah, that'll work out well. And I mentioned, this isn't the only interesting thing, but this is where it's really clear. But look at how men are depicted in, say, the Ghostbusters reboot.
No, I just thought the floating hot dog implies that a ghost is holding it.
Or Wheel of Time. Rings of Power.
Give it to me raw.
You can go through the list, okay?
Yeah. Especially with Marvel, all the recent TV shows and movies, that Phase 4 has just been that. It's just been the MCU.
Every male,
yes.
Yeah, MCU, every male character
Phase
is turned
4.
into a clown.
Yeah.
I mean, I saw a picture on Twitter recently that shows that every main character in the original Avengers cast has been replaced by a diversity, except Black Widow. She's the only one that's been replaced by, because she was already a woman, so, but you can go through the list. There's a female version of Captain America. I mean, granted, we saw her in extended kind of things, but it was Peggy Carter. Okay, so she was... Yeah. But, I mean, he's also been replaced with a more representative...
What was the name? Black Falcon?
Yeah.
And then, so there's now a female version of Iron Man. There is a female version of Captain America. There is a female version of Iron Man. There's a female version of Thor. There's
She-Hulk.
the female version of Hulk. There's a female version of Hawkeye. If we can find that list, if we can find that picture, it's every single one. There's a female version of Doctor Strange at the end of Multiverse of Madness.
And look, I wouldn't have an issue with having both male and female superheroes because we've had them in comic books for ages. Mm-hmm. But the matter of the fact is they're changing it, and then that's the marketing tool for it.
And
it's diverse, it's for women representation, but they just throw out the story.
It's not about
and the scales are far from balanced.
Equal representation. It's about female supremacy, and they just want to flip it on its head. And that's their view. Their view of equality is oppressing, usurping the patriarchy and oppressing and pushing men into the sidelines as much as they feel women were done in the past, which is, it's vile, because if it was bad, why is it okay when you do it? That's interesting. That's the interesting standard. I was watching Critical Drinker's review of Wakanda Forever, and one of his taglines he said is Wakanda basically acts like it's okay when we do it. They criticize and point their fingers at everyone, but then they do things just as bad, or if not worse, and it's okay when they do it. But guess what? That's kind of the woke movement, okay? It's okay when they do it, but they'll point out and act high and mighty and posture and virtue signal how good we are. But when we reverse that standard and I treat every other people just as bad as the bad I'm pointing out, no, it's okay because these are just, it's men.
It's for the greater good.
How can this be for the greater good?
Oh, by the way, female version of Loki, by the way. As well.
As well, yeah.
Of course, yeah.
But do we have a male version of Wanda?
No. And it's a common thing in media. Now, when I said, it doesn't matter if you have all female, all male, what matters is that it's written well, okay? The thing is, though, what we also have been seeing in media is that they've been going out of the way, the writing is crap anyway, but also the depiction of men in a lot of ways have been horribly written, okay? It hasn't been written well. If they did it fine and executed it well, not a problem. Wheel of Time, I always go back because they made the men so pathetically weak and cowardly, and gave all the girl boss moments, and so many characters are simping. It's this person is so wonderful, and it's either men saying that women are wonderful or women saying other women are wonderful. Remember that the scene where it was just Egwene is unbreakable, and they're tearing up about how glorious and indomitable Egwene is, and they even will break reality to avoid having men rescue women in that show. where Egwene teleports out of a chair where she was tied
Tied
up
down.
because Nanny can't have a man rescue a woman.
I'm gonna have to watch this show.
They
that's
took Perrin's
terrible.
moment from him. It was like,
Yeah.
we're going to see something cool.
gonna see-
Finally, after how many episodes?
Perrin's gonna get like a big boss, hero moment, and they robbed him of it.
She just teleports.
Sounds fantastic.
It
Does get me angry.
It's a common theme that we're seeing, and so this is where it actually is bad because they are making their men consistently depicted as just goofball. They're making a mockery of and everything like that. And like I said, I don't care if it's written well and justified in the thing, but we're looking at this from a broad perspective, we're seeing again and again and again and again and again, and it's like, okay, so at this point you just hate men. This is basically it. Like, you unironically sexist against men. And Wakanda Forever, just the most recent example of this.
I mean, yeah, when you look at the last two things I've seen from Marvel have been She-Hulk and Wakanda Forever. Which, as a man, not gonna lie, I kind of feel attacked here for watching these shows.
I felt that in Multiverse of Madness.
Yeah,
Doctor
luckily-
Strange is a multiversal incel.
Yeah, like,
Which is just, that's nice.
yeah, it's absurd.
So, interesting observations. Wakanda Forever is sexist according to feminism. Let us know what you think in the comments below. And as always, stay on watch.